Doug and the Commish, Week 7 edition. Killer Bees 5-1 against the Soldier 2-4. Rumor has it Soldier is not happy with you. Do you have anything to say to Soldier right now?
Nothing that should be on the air. We took care of that via text.
I would be interested to see those texts during the break. All right, well, let's go with the quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers against Kansas City. Ben Roethlisberger against Minnesota. Actually, surprisingly, the Kansas City Chiefs don't give up a ton of points to quarterbacks. I was a little bit surprised when I looked at the numbers. And Ben Roethlisberger is having a pretty decent year.
Phenomenal.
And so, I don't know. I am really going to have a tough time with this one. And I actually think I'm going to take Big Ben. Just because I like him more than I like Phillip Rivers. If given the opportunity to punch Phillip Rivers in the face, I might take it.
I'm with you on that, but I'm going to take Rivers because I think Kansas City's numbers are a little skewed. Just a touch because they're always down so early in the game that it's handoff just to run out some clock. And I don't think that's going to be the case this week because I don't think San Diego's very good. And I think Kansas City is improving. So I think it could be close, and Phillip Rivers will have a really solid day.
Okay. D'Angelo Williams against Buffalo and Steven Jackson against Indianapolis. Now, I'm going to throw something out to you. He's got Frank Gore on his bench. Frank Gore went through a full practice on Wednesday.
Yes.
Coming off of a bye week, I think that you have to play Frank Gore here. Houston Texans has given up 9 touchdowns to running backs and give up a lot of yards and a lot of fantasy points to them. Indianapolis coming off of a bye week, I think they're going to be a little bit more prepared for a guy like Steven Jackson, especially because his team's terrible.
Here's the thing, Doug. In Killer B Town, there is a power struggle between Little B and Big Sass. Big Sass wants Steven Jackson to play because he says that he's his pick, he's his guy. But Little B is saying, listen, exactly what you just said. Gore has the matchups. You just traded for the guy.
Yeah.
Get him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Let's use him. It will be an interesting dynamic to see who starts on Sunday. Who wins in that power struggle? Sass or the Little B?
All right. Well, who would you play?
Gore. I'm with B.
I would go with Gore as well. Adrian Peterson and Lawrence Maroney. Adrian Peterson against Pittsburgh, a very decent Pittsburgh defense, giving up 9 fantasy points to opposing running backs, but those running backs aren't necessarily Adrian Peterson. So that's something that you have to take into consideration. You take out that 44-point game, and Adrian Peterson has pretty much been averaging about 15. Would you expect above or below that?
Below. It might as well be Adrian Peterson from the Bears of last year's third-string RB. Nobody's scared of Adrian Peterson anymore. I mean, he's averaging, 15? You take out that one monster game.
That's what I just said.
He's Kevin Smith. Nobody's scared of that.
All right. He's also got Lawrence Maroney in there. And you got a theory on Lawrence Maroney. I actually don't think this is a bad play here because he's going up against Tampa Bay, and you saw what Lawrence Maroney did last week. But why do you disagree with this?
Bill Belichick hates Lawrence Maroney for whatever reason. There is a very solid chance that Lawrence Maroney does not even dress on Sunday. You know how Belichick gets. And they're using this injury with Sammy Morris to play some kind of strategery. There's no freaking way that he gets 20 anything points.
All right. Do you think he plays Mendenhall instead? Would that be a better play?
I would play Mendenhall even though it's against Minnesota. But I would also keep my eye on the rumors coming out of New England as far as who's actually going to get some touches. He loves Kevin Falk. He loves his fullback. He might, Belichick, he might pass the ball 60 times.
That's true. All right, well, I give the edge to Bees here. I just think the numbers are with him. Wide receiver, Chad Ochocinco, Jacoby Jones, and Josh Morgan. He's got 2 guys that might not be seeing the ball very often. Josh Morgan actually just gave up his spot to Michael Crabtree. Been working a lot with him in the practices, and actually said he was willing to give him up the spot and help him learn it because he wants his team to win, which we all commend Josh Morgan for that. But when it comes to fantasy, that doesn't help you. And
He's admitting that he blows. And that's not what you want to see out of your number 2 receiver.
Well, So I would look at Chad Ochocinco and say that he should have an okay day, but the other two guys are going up against great matchups. The unfortunate part, though, is I don't know that they're going to be the number one or maybe even number two option. So let's go over to the Soldier side of things, and we got Steve Smith. If you're a Steve Smith owner, are you worried?
Well, first of all, Douglas, I would never be a Steve Smith owner.
You have been a Steve Smith owner, though.
Not this year, Doug.
No. But
last year he was pimp. This year he's horrible.
0 points last week.
I would not be a Steve Smith owner of the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
I would have released him a couple weeks ago. He is not a profitable player. He even admitted he stinks.
Mm-hmm. He did. I did hear that part. Jericho Kotry's got a big questionable, and he's going up against Oakland. And depending on who Namandi guards, Kotry could be the guy open if he's healthy. Yeah. Don't mind that one. And Devin Hester against Cincinnati, I don't mind that one. But once again, Jay Cutler has a lot of options, and so you just hope that Hester's that guy if you're Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to give this edge to the Soldier, but not by a lot. Just because I don't really know that Bees has the greatest of wide receivers right now, especially Brandon Marshall out. So
I don't know what to say there. Neither one of them are going to be good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go to the tight end, Brent Selleck again at Washington. Washington, 4 points, nothing big there. We'll go to the other side of things, and I think Bees has a decision, and I don't think you agree with me. Tony Gonzalez against Dallas. On paper, you think, oh, that should be a great matchup. But let's play a little game here. How many points do you think the Philadelphia Eagles give up to tight ends?
It's probably not a lot, Doug. I would say maybe 4 or 5.
Let's go with 10. 10.3. They give up 10.3.
10.
Part of that is probably because they're blitzing, you think, from the corners.
Yeah,
and so leaves the tight end.
It's closest.
I think I play Chris Cooley here. What do you do?
I like your strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I like your thought process. But if it were me, Douglas, I would just go with my best player, which in this case would be Gonzalez. And Washington's a mess.
Yeah.
So I would just tend to stay away from anything Redskin right now.
Okay. What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean?
I didn't mean Redskin.
Let's move on. Let's stop. Let's just move on.
Asian.
Panthers playing Buffalo. Buffalo gives up a buttload of points to the opposing defenses. Saints against Miami. Miami. Stop. If Miami doesn't give up a ton of points, I'm going to give the edge to the Panthers here, although I don't trust them for as far as I can throw any of their players.
Saints by a lot. They're going to stuff the Wildcat right up.
They're so stupid. All right. Who do you got in this game?
I have a blowout. I have a nasty, ugly blowout. Unfortunately, anybody in this league that can handle a blowout, it's Soldier because he's used to getting them. So I'm going Killer Bees 97, Soldiers 42.
42. I really think he's probably going to be able to score way more than 42. I'm going to pick Killer Bees in this matchup.
What a surprise.
I don't mind Sass. I think he's got the matchups here too. Not necessarily the wide receiver ones, but his other ones look okay. That said, that is it for this episode. At least the Killer Bees Soldier episode. We'll be right back with our next matchup.